Mojave Wasteland is a dangerous place. Traveling alone, you will be constantly harassed by raiders, local wildlife, or the oncoming advancing legionary army. There is no safety out here. And the same could be said for the location pre-war. America was falling apart, and by the year 2077, all hope was lost. But just like everywhere else in the country, Vault-Tec had a solution. While walking past the ruins of an old tribal village, we stumbled upon a small group of Deathclaws, one of the most dangerous creatures found in the Mojave Wasteland. So sneaking off to the side, we would do our best to avoid them. A fight with a Deathclaw, even with companions, is unadvisable. After all, even with all my equipment, they could still kill me very quickly. However, fortunately for my party, one Deathclaw decided to start moseying its way up the nearby hill. The other one was heading back towards the ruins of the town. Following the ruins of this highway, we enter a valley. There's a billboard in the distance, as well as an old farmhouse. As we creep forward, we see strange markings on the hill, as well as a fenced-off parking lot with ruined cars still in their spaces. What is this place? What point of interest is out here? We're a good distance away from Vegas itself, and there doesn't seem to be anything else nearby, other than the farmhouse, but there's no way they would set up a huge parking lot for a farmhouse. Making sure we haven't been followed by the Deathclaws, we could finally stand up, allow our companions inside the parking lot, and then close the gate behind us, so we would not be surprised after we finish exploration. Walking over to this little structure, we see a trash can and a manhole leading to Vault 19? What? Climbing down the ladder, we are face to face with a vault door. Vault-Tec somehow ushered in people down a manhole into Vault 19, where we also see a security camera still active right beside the door. Attempting to push away past Eddie, we can activate the vault door control pod, and the door screeches open. With the door open, we are now free to enter. However, we see friendly pings popping up on our Pip-Boy compass, meaning that this vault is still inhabited. Question is, are these inhabitants the original vault dwellers, or has somebody else taken ownership? Investigating the main entryway, we don't really see anything of interest, but walking into the hallway, we notice on the signs that there are 2 overseers' offices, as well as security cameras all over the place. This vault had surveillance as a top priority. Walking into the second overseer's office, first one on our right, we come across Samuel Cook. Who are you, sir?
Have you wiped out those geckos yet?
No.
What do you want to know?
What's going on here?
Coward Lim has been talking about surrendering to the NCR. Now the men are confused, not sure who's leading this gang. Fucking idiots.
Who's Lim?
He was an inmate like the rest of us. He was useful during the jailbreak, but now he's just another coward. He wants us to leave the vault and hand our asses to the NCR, as if they treat us like human beings.
Tell me about that prison break.
Beautiful thing. Saved a little blast powder here, hit a makeshift weapon there, and one day I orchestrated a little symphony for the NCR.
So what brought you here?
Heard there was an abandoned vault along this mountain ridge, and that the wildlife here had teeth big enough to keep the NCR away.
Why so dangerous?
It's a fucking death trap around here. Fiends swarm all over Vault 3 in the east, and there are fucking Deathclaws south of that at Quarry Junction. If you're looking for humans, the Khans are north of us, and there's an NCR base at McCarran past Vault 3. Supposedly there are muties to the southeast.
Tell me about the
Like
fiends.
raiders, but worse. These guys are messed up on every damn chem there is. You can spot them by the horn skulls they wear as hats.
Quarry Junction?
The NCR's been mining there for a while, but now it's full of death claws. Don't go there unless you want a quick, bloody death.
How about the super
I've heard
mutants?
the mutants there are different, completely insane, and supposedly they use some kind of invisibility technology. I'd stay away.
Alright.
They've been through some rough times, but they can hold their own. I wouldn't mind taking the boys and signing up with them if it weren't for Lim.
McCarran.
It's the main base for the NCR and a breeding ground for oppression in the name of patriotic bullshit. Do humanity a favor and blow it up.
Okay, let's talk about something
What do
else.
you want to know?
Who are you anyway?
Some of the
What about this
computers
vault,
still
too?
work, but the only files are diaries and garbage. Typical vault. What do you want to know?
Tell me about the NCR.
Their republic is a joke. They're a bunch of tyrants led by an even greater tyrant, that idiot Kimball. They think they have the right to annex every inch of dirt in the West and force their system on every man, woman, and child.
Let's talk about something else now. Or
Bye.
goodbye, actually. Forget it. This kind gentleman is Samuel Cook, leader of the Powder Gangers, well, gang. He was responsible for the big breakout down at the NCR Correctional Facility. And since his escape has dragged his ragtag group of raiders into Vault 19 of all places. What is his plans for this place? Now, I've already been here. And I've started a quest involving this guy here. Involving old Samuel Cook. He wants me to kill a bunch of geckos beneath the vault to free up some sulfur. Now, his plan sounds like it's going to work for him. However, there is another party involved that we'll meet here in just a second who isn't so enthused about Cook's decisions and wants to just give up and leave Vault 19 for good. So, let's go meet our second overseer, shall we? Leaving Cook's office, we can head down to the left and enter the second overseer's office. There's also a cafeteria down to the left, but let's head into the overseer's office first.
Yeah? What do you want?
May I ask you some questions, sir?
Alright. What do you want to know?
What's going on here? And who are you anyway?
I'm a nobody. Just a survivor. Things were well enough until the NCR threw me behind bars.
What'd you do?
I made my living sneaking into NCR camps looking for shit to steal. I got sloppy, and then I got caught.
How'd you get out?
Made it out during Cook's big prison break, like the rest of the guys here.
Who's Cook?
Samuel Cook. It was his idea to organize a jailbreak, but now he's just an overambitious prick who's gonna get us all killed.
Tell me about that prison
I
break.
can be pretty sneaky when I need to be, and the prison guards were a joke. So, when Cook told me his plan, I spread the info to anyone that might be useful.
Let's talk about something else.
Alright? What do you want to know?
What's going on here?
Fucking Cook has us trapped here. After we escaped from an NCR prison, he dragged us around the wasteland until we ended up in this shithole. A group of us want to leave, go back to the NCR and surrender, but Cook won't let us. I made my living sneaking into NCR.
Now let's talk about something
Alright.
else. I already know that.
What do you want to know?
Goodbye, I guess.
Later.
This is the questioning party. Lim is our second overseer, if you will. He opposes Cook's radical plan and wants to surrender along with the rest of the Powder Gangers. However, as he said, Cook doesn't want him to. So, for the quest, he wants me to venture down to the same sulfur caves, kill the geckos, but instead of letting Cook get to the sulfur, instead he wants us to blow it all up. So that way there'll be no reason to stay in the vault to mine the sulfur, and it'll leave them with nowhere else to go except for the NCR. I think that's what we're going to do. However, there's a whole vault between us and this sulfur cave, so let's get our priorities straight. After finishing our conversation with Lim, we notice there's a terminal over here. So walking up to it and activating it, we can recover data and access a data corrupted file. Data corrupted. Fake medical records. Paranoia must be induced through non-violent and non-chemical means in order for the experiment to be considered a success. Data corrupted. A group of technicians have been assigned to run the reactor. They are currently researching methods to improve the reactor efficiency. The reactor floor is fully staffed and completely self-sustained. The only access between the vault proper and the reactor level is through the elevator hidden under the desk in this room. Currently, the password to open this passage is Hyacinth. Please change this password A. Data corrupted. Has not been informed of the research being undertaken in the lower levels. Oh boy, this was not a control vault. This was an experiment vault. Although if this was a control vault, then I find this as an act of mercy because then the powder gangers didn't kill anybody. At least in terms of vault inhabitants. But from what we've read here, this vault's experiment was paranoia. Through non-chemical methods at that. What are they going to do? Exiting the terminal. Hey, Raoul. Let's head on out the room and take a quick peek at... Wait, hold the phone. We can head down this hallway. There are quarters to our right. The red sector door and a blue sector door. Normally you would get key cards from both Cook and Lim, but I've already done that. Opening up the door to our left, we enter the clinic. No terminal entries. Unfortunate. But we enter into a generic operating room. Full of empty syringes, bone saws, and other assorted medical gear. There's also a nice little waiting area. However, there are hidden around the operating room, there are patient notes, which I've already picked up, so let me go find those. Alright, first note. Male, age 27. Patient brought in by police. Patient claims to be hearing voices taunting him. Patient claimed that he, at one point, believed these voices were coming from his grandfather's radio. The patient now believes that the voices were coming from within himself and is eager for help. Okay. Well, I'm guessing that the paranoia is setting in pretty good if he comes in hearing voices in his head. Let's see if we have any other similar cases. Male, age 22. Patient came to use claiming to be insane. Patient claimed he would often get the feeling of being outside himself. This feeling was so intense that it would cause the patient to be off balance during episodes. Navigation through the clinic often difficult for him to achieve without causing accidents. So this individual was fully aware that he was losing his mind and was coming into the clinic for help. But he would have episodes. Just trying to think here. What kind of mental illness would cause those type of episodes where you lose complete control over yourself? Whatever Vault-Tec's doing here, it's working in the worst ways possible. Female, age 24. Patient came seeking treatments for panic attacks. Patient claims to often experience moments of extreme terror out of nowhere, and they often wake her from her sleep. This is honestly the most normal case out of all of them, because night terrors are unfortunately kind of common. And so is anxiety and panic attacks. Again, it's not good, but it's far more common than somebody having out-of-body episodes. But once again, Vault-Tec's insidious experiments are unfortunately working. Male, age 31. 1687865 often misinterprets others' actions as hostile. He perceives friendly interactions with nurses as patronizing. We've also noticed that the longer other patients remain in contact with the patient, the more readily they are to act aggressively towards him due to his defensive nature, thus reinforcing the patient's perceived hostility. So we have a sort of a male Karen here, where he doesn't understand compliments, and everybody's patronizing towards him. And every time he acts aggressively, people act aggressively back, which reinforces his already unhealthy mindset. I don't know if this is due to paranoia or if the dude just has some issues, but whatever the case is, we already can tell from the past few notes that Vault-Tec's experiments were obviously working, and that they all involved psychological damage, to the point where people would have out-of-body experiences, hear voices in their head, or maybe this one isn't exactly isn't directly caused by Vault-Tec, but instead just this dude just has some anger issues. Who knows? In any case, let's move on. Checking in the desk here, we find some bottle caps and ammunition. Strange for bullets to be kept in the clinic, but maybe that's powder ganger work. There are toy cars on the desk in the waiting area, but we're done here. There is a women's restroom in here. Pretty generic. There's also first aid if you need it, but already been looted here. And beside it is the gentleman's restroom.
Wouldn't mind having one of those robots myself.
No clue what you just said, partner, but alright. Moving on down the hallway, we reach the other side of the cafeteria, so let's go ahead and check this out. As you can see, the powder gangers have made themselves at home in this vault, and are just lounging around at their leisure in the cafeteria. They have a wide variety of weapons, including some plasma weaponry, so they are not people to be trifled with unless we have the firepower to back our claims up. But we've explored all that we can on this top floor. It is time to start searching the living quarters. But noticeably, there is a red and blue sector, both needing a separate key card to activate. So let's do red first. We also find another escaped convict. Oh, there's a terminal here. And also, you can find more key cards in each person's room. Let's check this terminal. First entry is a note from the Overseer. Greetings, residents. We regret to inform you that there is a problem with one of the water purification filters. We assure you that we are working diligently to fix this problem. However, until the filter has been fixed, please try to keep water usage limited and report directly to the clinic if you begin to feel ill in any way. Okay, pretty generic maintenance ticket. I'd also like to point out that, just going back to the idea of two overseers, this vault has been divided into two sections. The population has been segregated into red and blue. And there is a red and blue overseer, both of which their jurisdiction is over that sector of the vault. So this intramail is coming from the red overseer. Nobody on either side has any real interaction with each other, except for in smaller locations at the cafeteria or out in the main hallways. And the clinic is all enveloping, so both red and blue will go to the clinic together, meaning that red and blue will have interactions will have limited interactions during various times throughout their lives. I mean, segregation. This already sounds like it's going to end poorly, and from those clinic tickets, we can see how bad some of these things got. But overall, this overseer's note seems pretty generic. Nothing out of the ordinary. Their water's screwed up, and it's being fixed. Although, now with what we know in my mind, I'm starting to wonder if there's perhaps a hidden message here, that they were trying to initiate some form of paranoia with their water systems. I don't know. But let's move on to the next entry. The next entry is a personal diary from this vault dweller, who says, I can hear noises through the intercom sometimes. Dad says he can't hear it, but I can. It's really high pitch, and sometimes I can hear a voice, but I can't make out the words. Mom says it's my imagination and that I shouldn't talk about it, that it might worry people. But I've talked to some of the other kids. They say they've heard it too. Huh. So, all the kids of this vault, or at least a good portion of the kids in the vault, are hearing strange noises and voices. Now, I know that the person who was hearing voices in his head was in his 20s, but could perhaps those instances be connected? Although it is strange that only the kids are hearing it. But, Vault-Tec's up to something. We're going to have to keep an eye out on other entries to see how far this has gone. Logging off of the terminal, we can search the remainder of this room. It's a generic little Vault Dweller's room. You can check the dresser and get some Vault 19 jumpsuits, which will be useful in a quest down the road. And we'll get to that eventually. But as you can see, I've collected a hefty sum of Vault suits. But I'm going to be collecting more Vault 19 suits as we travel through the vault. We can see that this was a child's room.
Never gets old when something blows up.
Okay. Moving on to the next room. There's another terminal here. The first entry was just the same water filtration issue as the last terminal, but there was another personal diary in this terminal. I haven't been able to sleep lately. One of the blues. He's always creeping around by the security door. I think he's trying to get in. That right there. That's our first sign that the segregation is already causing paranoia between the two groups. Where this individual is afraid that somebody on the blue side of the vault is trying to cross over. Interesting. Logging off. Gonna check a filing cabinet with some generic garbage. Desk is empty. But you can feel free to loot the rest of the room. Oh, another terminal. Sweet. Another issue ticket's been the first entry, but the second entry is another diary. However, this one's kind of weird. I've been asking around. There is no reason for these filters to fail. It must have been sabotaged. There's a rumor going around that one of the Reds did it. It wouldn't surprise me. Whenever I walk by a group of them in the cafeteria, they all start whispering. I bet they're plotting out what to do next. Well, firstly, we are in the Red section. So, why does it sound like there's one of the Blues writing this entry? Unless the Reds are just suspicious of themselves. Which, I mean, I guess with the paranoia going around, it would eventually come to that. But this should have been in the Blues compartment. But secondly, more to the point of the entry, once again, the segregation is causing issues, where both sides are afraid that the other side is trying to do something against them. This time, Reds are being blamed for presumably the water filtration filters to, well, fail. So, pretty bold accusations blaming another side of the vault for basically screwing up the water supply. Let's see if that... I highly doubt that's the case, but perhaps we'll find more about this water issue as we keep reading. Moving on, we can check the desk. There's nothing in there. Dresser. Another Vault 19 jumpsuit. Check the other one. Bunch of random pre-war clothes. Okay, whatever. Foot lockers. Ooh, some caps. What if I forgot to take those? There we go. Second foot locker is empty. Bummer. Heading out the door, we can head down this hallway goes everywhere. There's a cave in to our left and another room to our left again. Another terminal, sweet. And bubblegum. There are 2 personal diary entries on this one. This one's number 45. Some of the Blues caused some trouble in the clinic today. I bet they were stealing drugs. I heard the vents coming on late at night. Others have too. I bet they're using the drugs to poison us. Stealing supplies from the clinic and are using them to kill us all. Whoa. Hold the phone. Accusations going out the window here. Alright, so we have the Reds accusing the Blue of mass-scale murder. Of raiding the clinic and stealing drugs to poison people. Now, I know the Fallout universe has some strange chems that will have some devastating effects on people with continued use, and I don't know entirely what this clinic was equipped with, but I don't think any of the chems that they had were capable of airborne warfare. Now, perhaps that's just my closed-minded way of thinking, because people in Fallout have jury-rigged up a bunch of weird stuff, and it somehow worked. So, who knows? Maybe these blues are really a bunch of psycho killers. But again, I'm betting to disagree with that. Vault-Tec's experiments are working wonderfully, but also horrifically. Let's get to the next diary entry. Number 46. No, I know the truth. The commotion at the clinic. It was a trick. The doctors must be giving them the drugs, and she must be in on it. She never leaves her office. It must be because of the poison being pumped through the vents. Her office must be the only one that is safe. Oh no, don't tell me they're gonna raid the clinic because they're afraid of chem poisoning somehow. I sense violence just around the corner. Oh no. So again, the paranoia has gotten worse that now even the nonpartisan clinic staff are being questioned, or the doctors are being questioned, of if they're supplying these people with drugs. Oh no. Checking the desk, generic junk. You can check the lockers, which are labeled Vault 19 lockers, with a Vault 19 jumpsuit in one, and some pre-work clothes in the other. Check around the room. More dressers. Ah, jumpsuit. Sweet. Next one. Nope. Bummer. But the powder gangers have made themselves at home here. But heading out of the room, to the left of us is an elevator that leads down to a different floor. However, we're not ready for that yet. Actually, now let's do it. Activating the elevator, we go down to additional floors of living quarters. Most of this floor is most of the floor on the red side is in ruins, so there's not really much to see. So using the key card here, we can enter the main atrium, something we haven't seen yet, with a big gaping hole in the floor leading to the sulfur caves. But using the blue sector door on the other side of the atrium, we can unlock that. But here is the sulfur caves that both Lim and Cook were talking about. So opening the door, we can head on in. What the? Trying again. Walk on in. This layer is much more caved in, but entering one of the many living quarters rooms, you see a Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle cap and a terminal. Once again, this terminal has 2 diary entries on it. I think they're in my head. Sometimes I hear thoughts not my own. I think the Reds have done something to the intercom system. Rigged it to somehow broadcast into our brains. Is this the dude who's complaining about his grandfather's radio going off? Or maybe now he's just going off his rockers. And once again, blaming the Reds for something that's technologically out of their hands. Oh dear, this vault's going to hell in a handbasket. Next entry, my dude's having an existential crisis because of the star bottle cap. What does it mean? Why was there a blue star under my bottle cap? Are the Reds behind this? Is this part of their mind control? They must be making me see things now, things that shouldn't be there. The star shouldn't be there. Why do I see a star? It won't go away. No matter how long I close my eyes, it won't go away. I want the star to go away. Either this dude was born years after the bombs came down, or he just wasn't aware of the Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps being a thing. And their whole bargain and deal with the community. But whatever, he's losing his marbles off his rocker for sure. In the desk you can find some ammo, and then floor safe. A little bit of ammo, but not much of anything worth keeping. Ooh, there's some stuff in here. Ooh, Jumpsuit. There's some blood on the floor, which suggests violence, but we find no skeletons anywhere in the vault, so I don't know what happened here. Oh, wait, money. Moving on, we can head to our left. There's another elevator leading back up. Wait, there's another room. There's a classroom, as well as some ruined boxes in a down next to some cave-ins. The classroom is in absolute disrepair. There are lockers scattered around the floor, and we can see the cave from above has just, well, caved on in. There are toy boxes and for some reason beds in the classroom, unless this wasn't a classroom, but instead they just had a couple student desks in here for some reason. But there are beds in this room, suggesting that this might have actually been a living quarters. I might have been wrong. But there's nothing else to see here. Moving on down the hallway, there is another elevator. However, we should make sure we didn't miss anything. Heading back over here. Ah, we did. There's another room in here. Opening up the vault door. Another terminal. I saw the Red's overseer walking around on our floor last night. Huh. He looked like he was searching for something, and he was mumbling to himself. Oh dear. First of all, I didn't know that the overseer for the other side of the vault would have access to blue. I thought it would be completely segregated, where red sticks with red and blue sticks with blue. Apparently not. But if an overseer lost something, this could be major. And if he was wandering around blue section, this is definitely major. Perhaps he might have unintentionally lost some Vault-Tec secrets, revealing what is truly going on in this vault. I wonder if anybody found those. And we go from spying on the overseer to, oh dear, attempted theft. I saw one of the guys in the mess hall pull a bottle cap off a Sunset Sarsaparilla and then run into his room. I knew he was hiding something, so I broke into his room when he wasn't there and I saw the bottle cap. It had a blue star underneath it. I think he's been marked for something, but I can't figure out what. All I know is I want that bottle cap. Okay, either these residents are post-war and that this experiment's just been going on for a while and they have no clue what's going on with the bottle cap, or the experiment's messing with their brains to a point where they forget everything, or they just had no clue what Sunset Sarsaparilla was doing, but they all are gathered around this star bottle cap. They're all so upset about this. Interesting that they're so caught up about this, because on the surface world nowadays, everyone's trying to kill each other for the same bloody bottle cap. I guess, like war, some things never change. Logging off the terminal, we can open the desk. Garbage. But we also can loot the rest of this room. Hopefully find some more jumpsuits. Checking the dresser. Ooh, there's one on top of the dresser. Sweet. However, I don't have the weight for that, so we're going to leave this one behind. Unfortunately, I'll come back for it eventually. But heading back down the hallway, I think we've seen everything there is to see on this floor. So, other than the sulfur caves, but we're not dealing with those just yet. Heading back up topside, we can now unlock the blue sector door from the first floor. We also find another terminal in the first living quarters. First entry. I've been reading the bulletin boards for months now. I believe we have a spy among us. One of the Reds is pretending to be a Blue. They're using the bulletin boards to communicate. I believe they want me to see it. Okay. As we've seen for the past little bit now, these people are off their rockers. They are all accusing each other of insane crimes, and now we have attempted espionage. Okay. Why bulletin boards of all things, though? If they want to be stealthy, why use a public service like a bulletin board, or a public location like a bulletin board? Doesn't really add up, but I'm guessing that these experiments are starting to wear on their brains. My dude now speaks Morse code. Because I don't think that's Morse. It's supposed to be Morse, but I think it's a typo there. I've noticed one of the lights flickering past the door in Red's hallway. I believe it to be Morse code. Morse code. From what I can tell, it's an SOS. Huh. I highly doubt that. But given the fact that the Red's overseer potentially lost something, maybe the overseer is signaling for help. That something crucial to an experiment perhaps went missing. Also, it kind of ties back to the overseer's terminal we read, where they were planning on changing the password. Perhaps he lost the password to his terminal, which of course at the time would contain all of Vault-Tec's plans for Vault 19. If someone were to get a hold of that and read the terminal, experiment would be ruined and the vault would go into mutiny. I can see the problematic situation if that were the case. We find some ammo in the desk, opening a dresser, another jumpsuit. Nice. Remember that for later. Some cigarettes and bobby pins, nice. Opening another dresser, no jumpsuit. Another jumpsuit. Gonna leave that one there, but we're gonna be back for it eventually. So heading down this hallway, another living quarters to our right. Can check the lockers. Some toys. I'm gonna grab the cherry bombs because I think I can use those for a crafting recipe. Oh dear, hold up. Putting the toy back in the locker. Let's check the other one. Toys, okay. Checking the dresser. Another jumpsuit, awesome. Mark that for later. There are some BBs we could take, but we can leave those, we don't need them. Foot locker with a camera in it. Alright. Oh wait, terminal. Check that. Dear Lord, this one has a lot. I don't trust that doctor. She has bodyguards. What kind of doctor has bodyguards? I've seen the guards bringing her meals. I don't think she ever leaves her office. There's always one posted outside at night too. I wonder what she's hiding. So, okay. This is the first sign of unity we're seeing here, where both Reds and Blues are both wary of the clinic's doctor. But also, this could mean that... Wait, hold up. Let's read the rest of these entries first, and then I'll share my theory. Next entry. It seems that these brave dwellers, actually, are planning on actually proceeding with their break-in plan. I've been working with a friend. He's been trying to hack into the doc's computer, and so far we haven't had much luck. Interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes. What kind of secrets is the doctor hiding? Oh, she might be the only person other than the two overseers to actually know the vault's intentions. Perhaps this discovery of whatever happens in here will change the vault's future for good. Let's see how this goes. It took some convincing, but I finally got him to show me what he found on the doc's computer. He was right. I wouldn't like it. The patient files looked like those from an asylum. The patient names were all in code, but some of them seemed to fit the people around us. But they can't be us! I don't remember being insane. I think I remember something like that. But it must be true. It explains the doctor's behavior and the bodyguards. I don't know why I can't remember. It must be that doctor. Maybe she's drugging us. I need to get into that office. Oh dear. Well, I highly doubt that the doctor's drugging them, because the whole experiment of the vault was to engage or cause paranoia through non-chemical methods. So drugs, no. But some other psychological tactics, perhaps. Like segregation, for instance, in a closed-off environment, where you have a select few group of individuals who can form their own communities and then become skeptical of the other community. This is why segregation is bad, ladies and gentlemen. It is far more divisive than people think. Regardless, these vault dwellers are planning something. And my theory is starting to be supported. Maybe I am insane. Maybe this isn't happening. Maybe the war never happened. And maybe I'm just trapped in my head. We've gone into full-on existential crisis mode. This individual's losing it. It's almost like they've gone through the stages of grief where they're finally coming to acceptance, but the acceptance isn't as blissful as they would have wanted it to be. They've accepted the harsh truth that perhaps they are losing their mind, but they're questioning everything. Whether or not they're even in a vault, or perhaps the vault that they're living in is their own headspace. Unfortunately for you, my friend, the Vault Dweller, your predicament was all too real. It took some doing, but a few of us got together and managed to distract the people in the clinic long enough for me to get in and do some looking around. I found restraints and enough sedatives to kill a horse. She must be using them to control us, to make us forget. We're just pawns in her sick game. I have two theories about this one. First theory is that, again, they're not controlling them because the Vault's experiment is no chemicals. However, they have these restraints and such, not to induce paranoia, but to restrain those who become violent. Because there were some people who were stumbling around the office, knocking things over. It wouldn't be a far stretch to think that some of them would completely snap and attack people. Hence why she needs bodyguards. So perhaps the sedatives and other forms of restraints are not to control people, but instead to calm down those who lost their brains. Theory number 2, it is. For the experiment never said no chemicals at all. It only said that the paranoia could not be induced via chemical methods. So instead of using them to induce paranoia, she's just using them as a sedative. And using them to control her patients after they've come to her for help with their mental conditions. Whatever the case, it's not good. But also whatever the case, things are turning grisly for our friend the doctor. Final injury. We confronted the doctor today, and she refused to give us any information. We were thrown out of the clinic, some of us quite literally. We tried talking to the overseer, but he acted as if he didn't know anything about it. I don't believe him. I don't trust him. And I don't trust any of them. This is getting to the next level of bad. Where they don't even trust their own overseer anymore. They don't trust anybody in the higher-ups. And honestly, after all they've been through, I don't blame them. I wouldn't trust them either, and I don't trust them just reading this. I don't know how much the doctor was up to, what she was going on, what she was doing. But I do know that both the overseers knew what was going on and are playing this game as Vault-Tec had instructed. This is frightening. But this also confirms my theory entirely. Although just one minor tweak. I assume that it was because of the Reds entry that it was a violent break-in. From this entry, it doesn't seem like that. So I was wrong about potential violence. However, there was a big ruckus at the clinic, which the Reds may have seen. And to the Reds, who don't know what's going on, because they're not in this group over here, to the Reds, This could have looked like an attempted robbery or break-in or whatever else could have been floating through their minds. But instead it was a confrontation because the Blues were starting to get too smart for their own good. And started to think that perhaps something's going on in this vault that isn't what it should be. That everything isn't right. The Blues were taking their step forward and trying to do something about a twisted situation. However, the paranoia on both sides was very strong. So, let's see how this continues to play out. Leaving the living quarters, you can check another one. Another terminal. More messages about the actual experiments. I couldn't sleep a few nights ago, so I stayed up reading. Around 1:30 in the morning, the vent above my bed began to push out more air than usual. It lasted for about 5 minutes and then turned off. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I had trouble falling asleep again last night, and once again around 1:30 a.m., the vents turned on for about 5 minutes, then turned off. Huh. Yeah, I guess it is the small things in life that seem out of place, out of the ordinary, that would really irk somebody or scare somebody. And would eventually lead to paranoia. You're disturbingly smart, Vault-Tec. Disturbingly smart. Next entry. I've been getting headaches. I think someone's poisoning us. I've been up every night this week, and night after night, an extra boost of air comes through the vents. It lasts for about 5 minutes, and then it turns off. I spoke with some of the neighbors, and he said that he noticed the same thing in his room as well. We've made a report to the maintenance officer. He informed us that the system was running perfectly and that there was nothing to be worried about. I don't believe him. Maybe he's in on it. Interesting, Vault-Tec. Very interesting. Logging off the terminal, there is a blue key card on the desk here. But we can also take the time to look around the room, loot dressers, some bottle caps in this one. Oh, more caps in this one, sweet! Making some money from this vault. Another jumpsuit, mark this one for later. And some other garbage in the other one. I'm lost now, so heading down the hallway. Oh, we're back at the elevator. Alright, let's get this sulfur cave thing done because there's nowhere else to go. I think we've been everywhere we can be. So it's time to unlock the door to the atrium and head on down to the sulfur caves. Now, Cook did warn us about geckos down here, so we gotta be careful. But heading down this hole, we see that the vault has fallen apart. There's gaping holes in the wall, suggesting that, well, perhaps these geckos did some interior damage to the vault. Or perhaps the sulfur in these caves detonated a long time ago. Regardless, this section of the vault is in disrepair. The second floor is bad, this is horrendous. However, we have some geckos to kill, so let's get to it. Alright, Eddie's in trouble. He's found some Night Stalkers at a different section of the vault, it seems. So it's time to go put these suckers down. There you are, buddy. Alright, we're here to help. Don't worry. Be more careful next time, buddy. Don't just wander off alone. Heading up this side. Oh my gosh, Eddie, you've been putting in the work. Continuing through the cave, you see another red ping, but wait, hold up. As we come up here, we enter a larger cave with another section of the vault sticking out. But wait, you can see sunlight pouring in, and there's a ladder leading up to it. What's going on here? Entering this section of the vault, we are ambushed by Night Stalker. This section of the vault is in complete shambles, and local wildlife has moved in, so we're going to need to be careful as we progress. This looks to be like a little rec room, with some vending machines, a pool table, and a bar. Very nice. Heading on down the hallway, there's another door, and it leads Overseer's office. That's the elevator we heard about earlier, from the Overseer's terminal. Heading down the staircase, we can open this door into the maintenance section. Generic maintenance section of the vaults. Head on out. Oh wait, I missed a terminal. Eddie, hold that thought. The one and only entry on this terminal says, "The others keep telling me not to worry, but I feel it sometimes. I think there's something in here with us. I can always hear weird noises coming from above my room." Oh no. Oh no. Perhaps my first hypothesis was correct. That this vault was raided not by actual raiders or caused by mutiny, or the fate of this vault was also caused by mutiny, but instead from wildlife. Oh dear. Okay, so perhaps the Night Stalkers and geckos were starting to move in by this point. And in the near future, things would go drastically awry. Let's explore the remainder of this section and see if that theory holds up. Closing out of the terminal, we can... Oh, hello, gecko. Another gecko. Good job, guys. You're the best. Okay. Pushing way past Raoul. Head on down the hallway to a reactor room, but that's completely blocked up. There is a systems room. Maybe some entries in here. But everything in here is dead. Dead computers, dead servers. Nothing in here works. Nothing we can interact with. Reactors blocked entirely, so there's no chance of us getting to that without using cheats, but probably won't even be anything down there anyway. Opening up maintenance, we're back in here again. So we've come full circle. That's good. Easy way in and out of the main section of the vault. However, wait. We have a purpose down here. There's supposed to be some sulfur hidden in these caves. We missed a couple of geckos. Let's deal with those. Good job, Raoul. My aim sucks. Reloading our weapon. Head on into this main chamber. There's another gecko. I see another ping on the Pip-Boy compass, so yep, here it comes. As the last gecko gooifies, I think we are clear to start dealing with the sulfur. We have eliminated all the fire geckos in the caves underneath the vault. We can now report back to Samuel Cook or activate the rock. Now, down that way just leads back to where we were. We have three options here. The crystals on this rock seem to indicate a pocket of potassium nearby. Some strategically placed C4 could be enough to destroy both the cave and the vault. Our first option is to, well, leave. There's nothing we can do with that. We can just back away and pretend this never happened, go back to Cook and say, hey, the geckos are dead, do the stuff with the sulfur, mine it, do what you need to do, kill the NCR, whatever. Or we could plant enough C4 to destroy all the sulfur and potassium and the caves as well. But our final option, we could kill everybody. We can blow up the cave and the vault, killing all the powder gangers and erasing the vault's history, and then booking it on out. I'm not going to do that. Instead, we are going to rig enough C4 to only destroy the caves. For I feel like, for me personally, that the powder gangers have been through enough of wasteland traversing, wasteland survival. It's time that they go back and serve their sentence, and then will eventually hopefully be released to live their lives over again in a different way. So, let's plant enough C4 to destroy the caves and report back to Lim. After we've done that, the C4s detonate, and we are instantly teleported back into the atrium. The way back to the sulfur caves is completely closed off. We can head back the way we came, and head back to the first floor to find Lim in his overseer's office.
Damn, running low on smokes again.
Sorry, pal. Opening the door back to the main section of Vault 19, we can head into Lim's office. Security camera's watching us. It's the Blues! It's the Blues!
I sure hope that explosion was you. Did you seal off the sulfur? Good to hear. Without access to the sulfur, Cook doesn't have much to offer the gang. I guess it's over then. We could turn ourselves in.
Now, once again, we have options. If we have a speech of 40 or higher, we can get him to join the Great Khans. We could ask him further why he wants to surrender, but from the dialogue earlier, we already have good enough motive behind that. So, with all that being said, I think it's time that we let him know that he's doing the right thing.
Thank you. I think I just needed to hear someone else say it. I suppose without rule of law, we're no better than raiders.
With that done, we complete the quest, Why Can't We Be Friends? And we are now free to leave Vault 19. And the powder gangers will turn themselves in and will serve out the remainder of their sentence. Which might actually be extended because they did a massive breakout, but whatever. We're going to ignore that. And head on out the door. And we're going to close it behind us so they can do it themselves. Also, I just like watching these doors close. But as the door shuts, we have concluded the tragic story of Vault 19. A story of paranoia and insanity. The Vault experiment, as a recap, was to see what can be done to induce paranoia in its dwellers without using a chemical substance. Something that we will see in another vault down the line. But Vault 19 used segregation as well as some strange uses of everyday technology like the ventilation systems, or perhaps the water filtration issue, to raise fear in the inhabitants. And as we could see, it worked. However, unlike other vaults we've seen, there's no real closure to what happened to the original vault dwellers. We know that they're gone now, but what happened to them? The powder gangers now control the vault. But other than the blood splatter in that one room, there is no sign of violence anywhere in the vault. We know that creatures have moved into the lowest sections of the vault, and we can deduce that their invasion sort of began when they were still inhabitants of the vault, but there's not that much information to go on. Now, I have a few theories. We can already rule off that the powder gangers killed them. Because, well, they don't seem like the kind of people to do that. They're raiders, yes, but they don't really attack too many civilians. So what either happened is, the paranoia got so bad that it eventually induced a civil war. The participants fought to the death and killed each other, and that was that. The vault died out of its own doing, and then the powder gangers eventually stumbled upon the place and dumped all the skeletons. Although it doesn't really seem like a raider gangly thing to do to just dump corpses. I mean, sure, it's unsanitary to have them around, but it still doesn't seem like it would bother them too much, since they kill people, like NCR soldiers, a lot. So it doesn't really seem like they'd be the type of people to clean out skeletons from an ancient vault. What else could have happened? Well, there's the second option. There's a second option. That the invasion of the vault from the random animals, the critters killed them all. Seems unlikely by themselves, but there's also a part 2. Fire geckos, well, breathe fire. And sulfur can be used to make explosives. You combine fire with explosive material, kaboom. Lower section of the vault goes kablooey because of fire geckos. A lot of people are dead. And then perhaps the people on the surface levels are weaker because of the chaos down below. Security guards rush down to see what's going on. They get mauled to death. And then perhaps the creatures made their way up and killed the remainder of the civilians. Seems kind of unlikely, but it's possible as well. However, I think by far the most promising theory is that the Vault Dwellers had a mass exodus, where at some point in time they left. Perhaps the explosion did happen, caving in and destroying a good portion of the vault. However, the survivors decided to join in union with one another, sick of the paranoia, sick of the segregation, and decided to leave. Hence why we find the ladder leading to the entrance to a surface cave. They could have just left. Again, none of these theories are 100% proven. We have hints that they could have happened, and that they're probable. However, there's nothing written in stone. We don't find any of the Vault 19 survivors wandering the wasteland. We don't find a settlement composed of Vault 19 survivors. So either they moved out of state, or this mass exodus took place a long time ago, and that the descendants of these Vault Dwellers are now forming their own communities someplace else, or have perhaps even integrated with society here. So maybe some of the people we see wandering around the wasteland are descendants of the Vault 19 dwellers. It's possible, but again, nothing's written in stone. So it would be interesting to see if anything's released about them in the future. Perhaps in another Fallout game, we'll have a settlement run entirely by Vault 19 dwellers, or descendants of them, or any other references to Vault 19. I think the experiment is pretty interesting, actually, with interesting methods of inducing paranoia. It's like all the Vault-Tec experiments demented, but fascinating in its own gross kind of way. But this, everybody, has been the full story of Vault 19. What are your thoughts on the experiments or the potential fate of these dwellers? Do you think that they escaped? Or do you think that ladder was installed by the powder gangers? Do you think that they all killed each other? Or that they were eaten alive? Hence why we don't find any skeletons lying around. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. But in any case, everybody who's watching, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video, and I hope that you've enjoyed Geekz Week. As always, Maxusthebeast is out.